Welcome. We'll be starting with our expected question series, a continuation of the previous session that we have taken. Here we'll be bringing some major topics for your environment. So Katowice Climate Change Conference was very important. It was also known as the Katowice Climate Talks. The idea was to have a rule book which would be called as a operating manual for the Paris Agreement 2015. And this rule book was one of the major decisions that was taken, or the major agreements that were laid under the COP24 that was held in Katowice, so Poland. So that's very important. The next is Draft Coastal Regulation Zone 2018 amendments. The most important amendment was the limit was reduced from 100 meters to 50 meters. There were three CRZ zones, that is the Coastal Regulation Zone declared. The Coastal Regulation Zone 3 had different sections, that was the major one, and the A and B. Under A, the idea was a rural density or a rural area with a population density of 2161 square persons per kilometer or more would be catered, and under category B, less than 2161 population per square kilometer would be catered. Mapping of high tide, desert hazard lines would be done. There was also regulations for CRZ1, that was the most critically environmentally critical regions that were talked about. CRZ4, which were mainly the seabeds and the waterbeds that were discussed. So those were some of the major amendments taken place. For the groundwater extraction, you have the revisions that were laid down under the NGT. Under this, there were various guidelines, mainly for the pollution, recycling, sewerage waste that was taken into care. And then there was a mandatory water audit by industries, which is very important. So this was around 500 cubic meters of water per day in the safe areas and 200 meter cube per day in the critical or overexploited areas. So that was one of the major guidelines. Then there was revision in the water conservation fees that was charged. India Water Impact Summit 2018 was held, and it included three important areas. First was the 5 states that were highlighted. These were Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Delhi, Uttarakhand and Bihar. Then you had the Ganga Financing Forum, which was part of it, and then focus was mainly on technology and innovation that took place. There were sessions on agroforestry, biodiversity, afforestation issues and the Ganga rejuvenation plan. Electric vehicle charging infrastructure is supposed to be built up on the highways. Along the highways, every 25 kilometers you would have a public charging station that would be there. For long range and heavy duty vehicles, there would be a charging station every 100 kilometers that would be done. There would be charging areas even in the residential regions, and 25% of all the vehicles on road by 2030 should be electric vehicles. So that's some of the guidelines that have been done. Very important effort. And then the FAME scheme and line of same is again important. Rat hole mining has been very important topic. We have covered that in a separate lecture. The major advantage is why this is done, because it's a very labor intensive process, less capital intensive, more labor intensive process. The pollution level is less and people can gain self-employment out of it. However, NGT banned it. The negative impacts being the problems of environmental degradation associated to it, more overexploitation of the worker, unsafe living conditions that are there, the illegal mining issue, that's obviously the most important topic that has been into discussion. Then you have access and benefit sharing, which is known as the ABS model. This was part of the fair and equitable benefit sharing systems of the Biodiversity Act 2002. Now under this, the genetic resources can be accessed and how benefits could result into the help for the local community was something that is mainly talked about. So benefit catering to the indigenous people, the local community, getting the consent from this. So this is a kind of mixed project of access benefit sharing, UNEP, that's the United Nations Environmental Program, and then also you have the global environmental facilities that are part of it. The online filing for the applications had been released. Now there are three things which have been highly correlated under climate change. Those three have been obesity, undernutrition and climate change. So this is known as a kind of syndemic, which is synergy of epidemics which is growing. Every time they co-occur in place and time, and they have kind of common social drivers that could be seen. Cultural model of conservation has been seen by Idumishi tribe in Arunachal Pradesh, mainly in the Dibang wildlife conservation areas, for the forest dwellers to have their traditional knowledge being preserved. So the Dibang Wildlife Sanctuary, which is now against, the idea is the tribe is against the declaration of this wildlife sanctuary as a tiger reserve. So that's one of the major things. Kishnana resolution of Kinshasa resolution of 1975 talks about international recognition for cultural model of conservation, and this is part of it, so that's important. Polar vortex has been a very burning topic. The extreme cold conditions in the polar areas witnessed recently have been a result of the polar vortex. Under polar vortex you have two vortexes that develop, so two polar vortex in each hemisphere. The lower one is known as the tropospheric polar vortex, and then above it is the stratospheric polar vortex. The second polar vortex is just above the first, and it leads to deep freezing conditions that are seen. Most of the boundaries of the polar vortex shift all the time, and they whenever there is a break in the polar vortex, it's linked to a kind of long chilly weather that's seen. So it's considered as a border between the cold polar air in the north and the warm subtropical air that is seen. Very, very important for this year. You have Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Yojana, which is known as the Jaiv Indhan Vatavaran Anukul Fasal Avshesh Nivaran. So the idea is to provide a financial support for integrated bioethanol practices that are there. Mainly 2G ethanol is the major focus. You have various demonstration projects that have been working along with the viability gap funding. That's very important. This has been released in two phases. The second phase is sort from 2020 onwards till 2024, and ethanol production schemes, the beneficiaries related to it have been very, very important. How we need to shift from the dependency onto fossil fuels to biofuels is again important. The next is Ganga rejuvenation. So you have main issue which talks about how the rivers that are flowing through the Garhwal and the Ganga basin have been under different problems, mainly related to the pollution in the region, the seismic imbalance that have been seen, construction and over construction of hydro projects that have been seen, leading to loss of agriculture, dying rivers, diversions of water. Now this is an important topic even for your optional subjects in your mains examination. After you have the Statue of Liberty and the Statue of Unity in India, the next biggest statue has been planned close to Mumbai. That's the Maharaja Chhatrapati Shivaji off the coast of Mumbai. This would be the world's tallest statue with a height of 210 meters. Project is said to be completed by 2019, and totally the construction should be complete by 2021. So that's the target. Clean Ganga Fund is again important. The idea is an effort to clean the river Ganga. So to explore more possibility for bringing in funds, specific project related funds to be released, and auditing should be done. Green Skill Development Program, very, very important, launched by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. So which ministry released this program, as it has been always a major question. This is one of the major ideas. Now these green skilled people would have more technical knowledge that would be seen, more skilled youth would be seen. There would be more than 30 programs that would be released, mainly working for the sustainable goals. Now particulate matter 2.5 is one of the major concerns. Anything which is less than 2.5 is considered under PM 2.5. It's less than or approximating to 3% of the diameter of a human hair. So that's very, very fine minute particles. Most of the nitrogen particles make up this particulate matter 2.5. This particulate matter is coming from burning of the crop residue. So nitrogen is one of the major fertilizers in the agricultural area. Besides this, it's important that so far methane was considered as the largest contributor to greenhouse gas. Now it is nitrogen dioxide which has replaced, nitrous oxide which has replaced the methane. So that's again important. So nitrogen compounds have taken over methane, and they are one of the most important particulate matters. Cattle account for nearly 80% of the ammonia being released into the atmosphere. The proportion of rising ammonia has grown significantly and is yet expected to grow in the next couple of decades. Composite Water Management Index and Mihir-Shah Committee is important. Mihir-Shah Committee is a committee for restructuring the Central Water Commission and the Central Groundwater Board. This talks about a user-centric approach for water management, where there would be decentralization of the irrigation projects that would be seen. And this Composite Water Management Index basically talks about that across India, 70% of the water resources have been highly polluted. So these are the areas which you have initial judicious use of water resources which have been witnessed in these areas. So working on infrastructure, rural and water drinking facilities that are available, agricultural use of water are some of the major sources. Then plastic waste management is again important. The rules have been amended. So the thickness has been changed from 40 microns to 50 microns. It has been applicable not only to the municipal areas but also to the rural areas. We have local panchayats taking part into this. Slowly and gradually we are phasing out use of non-recyclable multi-layer plastics, and this would be slowly and gradually vanish in the next 2 years. So that's one of the major things. We are trying to comply in more than 24 states with the following guidelines. So this is again a very, very important topic. World Bank has talked about the fundings that are coming in for the climate change. So World Bank, as an international financial institution headquartered in Washington, is talking about the funds that are flowing in directly from the World Bank for climate change conservation, and then you have private capital mobilization that is taking place. You have the OCMIS system, that is the online continuous emission monitoring system. Here the Central Pollution Control Board has directed the various state pollution boards to close down the industrial units which have not installed this continuous emission monitoring system. This has been made compulsory since 2015, and those who have not done would not be given the permissions to work further. So that's one of the major ideas under this. Under the polluted city, Kanpur is the most polluted city. Delhi has figured the 6th most polluted city, and particulate matter 2.5, as we already discussed, is considered the most hazardous among those. You have the cost of air pollution, which has been co-authored by the World Bank, is one of the books that talks about saving the lives through the problems of air pollution. Green cricket is a new innovative concept being laid down, where BCCI has signed a letter with UN environmental organizations to bring in green cricket. So all the stadiums playing in cricket, during that there would be minimum waste generation. Single use plastics would be slowly and gradually phased out. So 4 matches which have been played at Holkar stadiums, you have the 3R concept, that is reduce, reuse and recycle, that has been implemented. Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bangalore, you are trying to replace the bottle cups with the alternative environment friendly substances that could be made possible. Global Wind Energy Summit is important. You have 2 main conferences under it, Wind Energy Hamburg and Wind Energy Hollandske. India has been working hard in terms of dynamic market, the cost efficiency and smart energy. India is the 4th nation after China, US and Germany which is talking in terms of wind energy installation. We are trying to achieve our set targets by 2022. New biofuel policy has been laid down. We have already covered the biofuel policy 2018, very, very important topic for your upcoming examination. Under this, except for ethanol, what other substances have been used are important. There could be a direct question, which of the following is not a part under the policy expansion for the usage for biofuel? So you have the ethanol, sugarcane juice, sugar contained from sugar beet or sweet sorghum. You have starch containing materials like corn, cassava, damaged grains and rotten potatoes that are seen. So those are some of the major changes that have been seen in the biofuel policy. Singchun Bugan Community Reserve won the India's Biodiversity Award 2018. Now this region was or is considered as a hotspot for biodiversity, being maintained by the Bugan community of the Singchung village along with the forest department. NGOs have joined hand working for this. The wildlife preservation is one of the major cause, and right next to it you have the Eagle Nest Wildlife Sanctuary, which is again the home to the Bugan community. So new species of the birds which are seen have not reported anywhere in the world so far. So that's the level of conservation and protection that is being seen. Similarly, you have the Compensatory Afforestation Fund Act 2016 that has been released. Along with that, you have the state afforestation funds that have come up. The idea will be 10% of the funds would be collected and that 90% would be taken from the state government. This fund would help to manage the forest region, and you would have the expert committee that would be established. The net present value of the forest would be calculated for a period of 50 years. Now, International Solar Alliance, again a very important topic. We have covered a separate lecture on it. It's the only UN secretariat or the international secretariat with its headquarters being located in India, Gurugram. The idea is you have 121 tropical nations which are part of this project, and under this we aim to generate 100 gigawatts of energy, solar energy by 2022, which is the part of 175 gigawatt of renewable energy that India is planning to generate or is planning to have with it. So we are trying to fight climate change at various levels. We have talked about the contribution from wind energy, contribution from solar energy. We'll be bringing in more topics for your environment in the upcoming lectures. So stay tuned for more series on expected classes. Have a wonderful day.